I've been playing with my own story and having it read back to me. And I'm finding this can be done so easily. Oftentimes I see people write comments, almost as if just to be heard. What if you really just need to hear yourself? So I've taken one comment that I was working on and developed it into a narrative. I listened to part of it. It's turning out pretty good, as expected. Not my first rodeo here. So, thought you'd like to join in on the fun, shall we?
It reminded me of something I'd been trying to put into words. What I now call the dark container wasn't my story. It was the catalyst. 2.5 weeks inside a 12-week container didn't create 43 years of patterns. It revealed them. Before that experience, I'd already spent decades wrestling with depression, addiction, identity, and meaning. I'd slowly discovered that while I couldn't always choose my emotions, I could choose behaviors that gradually changed my relationship with them. That work mattered. Then I stepped into a space that promised deeper truth. Instead, it became a mirror. Somewhere during those 2.5 weeks, the methods that had reliably grounded me no longer seemed to have the same effect. My mind searched for explanations. My body kept sending a much simpler message. Something isn't right. I couldn't prove it. I couldn't explain it. But I listened. Walking away wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a different one. The months that followed weren't spent searching for another teacher. They were spent rebuilding my relationship with reality, observing, questioning, testing, correcting, learning to trust my own capacity for discernment instead of outsourcing it. And then came the realization that surprised me most. What if this person wasn't just a catalyst? What if they were also a mirror? For a long time, I felt as though I had been kept hidden, useful in private, invisible in public. Whether that was intentional or simply how I experienced it, I can't say with certainty. But the feeling itself forced me to ask a harder question. Where else had I been living that pattern? Where had I kept parts of myself hidden? Where had I accepted conditional acceptance because it felt familiar? Where had I confused being needed with being loved? Maybe that's the deeper lesson. Not that another person had power over me, but that the experience illuminated an old operating system I had unknowingly carried for years. An operating system where love often came with conditions, with approval, with performance, with control. That's not the kind of love I'm interested in building anymore. The new operating system asks something different. Love doesn't require me to become smaller. Love doesn't ask me to disappear. Love doesn't ask me to surrender my discernment. Love doesn't fear honesty. Love doesn't punish questions. If something is true, it can withstand observation. If something is loving, it doesn't need control to survive. Today, I don't find myself trapped in the depression and anxiety that once defined so much of my life. I'm more content, more disciplined, more present, more conscious, more willing to admit what I don't know. Sometimes it feels as though a weight I never knew I was carrying has fallen away. Was that because I left? Because of the work that followed? Because my nervous system finally felt safe enough to settle? Because there is something we don't yet understand about intention, relationship, or spirit? I don't know. The gray path doesn't require me to pretend that I do. What I can say is this: the dark container didn't give me the answers. It forced me to ask better questions. And sometimes a catalyst isn't valuable because it tells you what's true. It's valuable because it makes living the old story impossible. Everything that came after, that was the real work. So maybe the greatest gift wasn't what happened inside that container. Maybe it was discovering the version of myself that no longer needed to remain inside any container at all. Not because I know everything, but because I finally trust myself enough to keep walking, open-hearted, reality-based, and willing to revise whatever tomorrow teaches me.
And there's the meditation right there, told in a narrative. Don't need to spend hours thinking about stuff and having your mind play tricks on you. Write it out, prompt it, set up the structure, throw it in the LLM, get your favorite voice to read it back to you, however you need to hear it. I particularly like this Sir Something or Other. Burt Reynolds is pretty cool too. You know, the free tier is but this one is alright. I forget the app. 11 something or other. Yeah. I mean, that is the kind of love I've actually sought after, unbeknownst to me. Why? I haven't wanted that type of love in, well, at least 6-7 years now. What's still hidden beneath excavation? Not with a construction crew, no, with an archaeological team of one. Oh, I'll be damned. There's my new watch. Now I can record all my crazy thoughts all the time. There will be nothing will escape the Weaver. It's a good day. Technology is your friend. Unlike all technology, even poison, neutral until wielded, or mishandled because, well, you didn't read the warning, right? Or you did, but you didn't think anything would go wrong because your ego. It's a trap, folks. The mind is a motherfucker. It's also beautiful. It's a fucking son of a bitch, but I love my mind. Do you love yours? Because my mind can take me into the heart space. Sure, I can allow emotions to hit me without conscious thought. Whether I choose to embrace them or ignore them, well, that's on me. But the mind, that's a choice. So next time someone says, get out of your mind into your heart space, ask the question, how have you gotten in the heart space your whole fucking life? The majority of times. Especially when using intention. Intention is a fucking thought first, then it's a feeling. That's what I've come to realize for myself. I didn't need a teacher to tell me this shit. Figured it out myself. Changed my fucking life. I'm still in the basement. But you ever see somebody so content, so long, dealing with their shit inside their parents' basement at 43 years old? Now, thank God I have parents like this that allowed me to rediscover myself again. That's a blessing. Sure. Were relationships always fucking roses and rainbows? Absolutely not. Is there love there? Absolutely. Does the old way still have control issues? You bet. But do you, the new way, have patience? So much. Not because it was just given to me, no, because I worked through it, worked for it, and learned from every interaction I've ever had with another human being. So I think I've stumbled upon the format I'm going to use from here on out for a little while, because I've always known, well, in order to talk off the top of your head, honestly, you know, without notes or any bullshit like that, it's great to have a prompt, right? It's also great to give an example. And so what better way to relive an example? Have a linear, algorithmic, pellet-eating bastard tell you your scattered thoughts back in a way that you can actually understand them instead of coming in at every fucking direction. And you walk through it. And then you realize, oh shit, the stories I've been telling myself this whole time are bullshit, because my very actions are evidence against that. There are tools all around and within us, should we choose to use them for ourselves instead of outsourcing them to another. It's always a trap. Always. Don't get it twisted, folks. Even the people with best intentions put their biases into the delivery, into the injection. And so that's not to say that they don't have something of value to offer and that their hearts aren't pure. We're humans. We're fallible, whether we're conscious of it or not. So, the gray path. Be your own guru. Be your own student. Write your own curricula. Be the proctor, the teacher. Write the lesson plans. Take the tests. What's the fucking quote from, what's that movie? Go to school high, take the test high, get high grades.